ਹੈਲੋ एवरीवन ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਚੈਪਟਰ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਹੋਪ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨੇ ਕੱਲ ਵਾਲੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇਖੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਊ। ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਚੈਪਟਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਦ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਆਫ ਮਾਈ ਲਾਈਫ। ਦੇਖੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਆ ਹੈਲਨ ਕੈਲਰ ਜੀ ਦੀ। ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਕੀ ਆ। ਅਕੋਰਡਿੰਗ ਟੂ ਹੈਲਨ ਕੈਲਰ ਵਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਦ ਮੋਸਟ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਡੇ ਇਨ ਆਰ ਲਾਈਫ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੈਲਨ ਕੈਲਰ ਦੇ ਅਕੋਰਡਿੰਗ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਦਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਸੀ। According to Helen Keller, the most important day in all her life was the day on which her teacher Anne Sullivan came into her life. ਹੁਣ ਆ question ਬਹੁਤ important ਆ ਟੀਚਰ ਵਾਲਾ। ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਐਨ ਸੁਲੀਵਾਨ ਉਹ ਟੀਚਰ ਦਾ ਨੇਮ ਆ। ਓਕੇ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ। How old was Helen Keller when Anne Mansfield Sullivan came to her house? She was 6 years and 9 months. ठीक है। फिर अगे विच प्लांट कवर्ड द पोर्च ऑफ हेलन्स हाउस। ਇਹਦਾ आंसर आ हनी सक्कर। नेम द फर्स्ट वर्ड मिस सुलिवान टॉट हेलन DOLL यानी कि डॉल। हेलन डैश डैश ऑन द फ्लोर। देखो डैश्ड डैश ऑन द फ्लोर द doll. Next question. At first, Helen couldn't tell the difference between mug and water. True or false? It is true. At the well house, the mystery of Dash was revealed to Helen. Then the answer is true. It was revealed to Helen. Okay. Mystery of language was revealed to Helen. Blank fill करने से okay. फिर name any two words that the narrator's teacher made her learn. Doll, pin. Okay. Who had addressed the doll which Anne Sullivan gave Helen Keller? Laura Bridgman. किने ड्रैस की सीगी वो डॉल जिहड़ी एन सुलिवान ने दित्ती सी हैलन कैलर नूं? लॉरा ब्रिजमैन। ते किन्ने भेजी सी? स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ चिल्ड्रन एट परकिंस इंस्टीट्यूशन। ठीक है। फिर हू वाज एन मैन्सफील्ड सुलिवान? एन मैन्सफील्ड सुलिवान वाज हेलन कैलर्स टीचर। What was something unusual happening at narrator home? Helen teacher was expected to come and the preparation of her welcome were in progress। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਲਨ ਦੇ ਟੀਚਰ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਉਣ ਦੀਆਂ ਤਿਆਰੀਆਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਸੀ। What was the narrator doing while sitting on the steps? She was waiting anxiously for something unusual to happen। ਜਦੋਂ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਤੇ ਬੈਠੀ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਡੀਕ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ? ਉਹ ਡੀਕ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਅਨਯੂਜੂਅਲ ਆ ਉਹ ਹੋਊਗਾ। ਨੈਕਸਟ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਦੇਖੋ। what was narrator doing while sitting on the steps? She was waiting anxiously for something unusual to happen। what was the wordless cry of the narrator's soul? Light, give me light was the wordless cry of the narrator's soul। We had sent the doll for the narrator। Who had sent the doll for the narrator? The blind children from Perkin Institution had sent the doll। How did the narrator learn to spell the words? The narrator learned to spell the words by learning finger play। Why did the narrator dash the doll upon the floor? The narrator did so because she was annoyed with her teacher and she was able to understand the difference between unable to understand the difference between mug and water। List the few words that the narrator teacher made her learn। केड़े केड़े words खाए सी? Words were pin, hat, cup and some verbs like sit, stand and walk। What did the narrator learn at the well house? She attained the consciousness and learned the mystery of language as the cool water flowed over her hands। Write the theme of the chapter, the story of my life। ਇਹਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੇ ਥੀਮ ਲਿਖਣੀ ਆ। What will we write? ਦੇਖੋ This chapter is based on the idea that nothing is impossible. देखो ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਥੀਮ ਦੱਸਣੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ क्वेश्चन है इंपॉर्टेंट है इस चैप्टर ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੇ ਥੀਮ ਦੱਸਣੀ ਆ कि impossible for a person with strong determination physical challenges cannot be permanent barriers in the way of a person who is with high morale ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਰੋਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਨਪਸੰਦ ਆਪਣਾ ਜੋ ਮੰਜ਼ਿਲ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਚੀਵ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਾਉਣ ਤੋਂ it is not your devotion and never it is not only your devotion and never ending hard work that makes you capable of winning every situation. The idea has been illustrated through the life story of Helen Keller. Helen Keller became blind, deaf and dumb at the age of 19 months. A very important MCQ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ. Despite these physical challenges, she learned to read and write. Undoubtedly, she was able to do this with the best possible efforts of her teacher, Miss Anne Sullivan. She taught Helen to communicate by spelling words into her hands with her fingers. This skill gave light to Helen Keller's life. For the first time, she felt life in everything around her. Her dull and meaningless life found a ray of hope and longed for a new day to come. She not only learned how to read and write but also attained graduation degree from college. By sheer willpower, she turned impossible into possible. So there was a question. What was the wordless cry of the narrator's soul? Light, give me light was the wordless cry of the narrator's soul. It is also important. And this one. Just wait a minute. Yeah. So this question is very important. Next question is draw a brief character sketch of the narrator from the story of my life. So the narrator of this chapter is Helen Keller. Helen Keller was only 19 months old when she became blind, deaf and dumb. She was a helpless victim of fate. Anger and bitterness preyed upon her. Her life before her education was ship without a rudder. Only her teacher, Miss Anne Sullivan, steered her life into right and purposeful direction. She revealed to her the hidden mysteries of language and communication. She showed exceptional capabilities for learning and very soon could learn to read, write, or even speak. Whenever she learnt any new thing, her joy found no boundaries. She learned lip reading. See, this is very important. Lip reading Tedoma and learned to read and write Braille. With a lot of struggle and an unending urge to learn, she became perfect in these skills. When she picked up the pieces of the broken doll, her eyes filled with tears. The incident, she became perfect in these skills when she picked up the pieces of broken doll, her eyes filled with tears. This incident made her sensitive and thoughtful. Now she started feeling life in everything around her. She worked so hard that she became the first deaf-blind person to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree. She came to be a writer and lecturer. Her autobiography, The Story of My Life, is a source of inspiration for one and all. Next chapter is Gadri Babas in Kala Pani Jail. So after this, there is our poetry section. See, this is very important chapter. थोड़ा जा neglect हो जाता है ना. ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 2 ਚੈਪਟਰ ਮਿਸਿੰਗ ਆ ਜੈਂਟਲਮੈਨ ਆਫ ਵਰੋਨਾ ਵਾਲੇ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਆ ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਸ਼ਿਫਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਅੱਗੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਲਈ 2 ਚੈਪਟਰ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਹੂ ਇਜ਼ ਆਥਰ ਆਫ ਦ ਚੈਪਟਰ ਗਦਾਰੀ ਬਾਬਾਜ਼ ਇਨ ਕਾਲਾਪਾਨੀ ਜੇਲ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰੀਸ਼ ਕੇ ਪੁਰੀ who organized the Gadar Party, Indian emigrants and revolutionary exile living in the USA and Canada organized the Gadar Party. Indian immigrants मतलब जो इंडिया ਦੇ गए ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਤੇ revolutionary exile ਜਿਹੜੇ USA ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ organize ਕੀਤੀ ਆ Gadar Party. Did the stipulated rebellion in February 1915 succeed? Answer is no. The cellular jail was rightly described as the Devil's Island. The other name of cellular jail was Kala Pani. Who were the chief governing officials in the cellular jail? The jailer David Barry, the superintendent Murray, and the chief commissioner were the chief governing official in the cellular jail. Who were the smaller gods? The warders, petty officers, and Jamadas were called as the smaller gods. Who constituted the largest single group of political prisoners at the cellular jail? The Gadarites or the Gadri Babas constituted the largest single group of political prisoners at the cellular jail. Where is the cellular jail located? The cellular jail is located at the Port Blair. Okay, next is when was the newly constructed jail opened? 1906. फिर है what was the minimum quantity of coconut oil that prisoners were? Oh, just wait a minute. That the prisoners were supposed to extract, and the answer is 30 pounds. देखो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आ वाले क्वेश्चन आ ही जाते होंगे मोस्टली इन्हों चों. What was the name of the jailer of cellular jail? The name was David Barry. What was the name of the superintendent? The name of the superintendent was Murray. ये गल याद रखनी आ कि जेलर का नाम डेविड बैरी सी ते सुपरिटेंडेंट का नाम मुरे सी. ओके, वट वर द जेलर सुपरिटेंडेंट एंड चीफ कमिश्नर रेफर टू एज की कहते सी उन्होंने रेफर करते सी बचर्स प्रोगनी ऑफ द सतान. बैरिन गूज वॉज ऑरिबिंदोस गूज ब्रदर. ट्रू. Who went on hunger strike for 72 days? Nani Gopal. Who slapped Superintendent Murray and was put in a cage? Chatar Singh. How many Gadrais lost their lives in cellular jail? 8. Okay. On a longer hunger strike, Jyotish Chandra Pal went totally mad and was removed to a mental hospital. True or false? True. The jail was full of mosquitoes and leeches. True. फिर उसके बाद शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस या देखो लिस्ट अ फ्यू की मेंबर्स ऑफ द गदर पार्टी. फिर सम ऑफ द की मेंबर्स ऑफ द गदर पार्टी वर लाला हरदयाल, विजय पिंगले, बाबा निधान सिंह, बाबा सोहन सिंह पखना एंड करतार सिंह सराभा. What was the mode of torturing brave fighters by British government? They were forced to work at the oil mill and whipped in public. They were also kept in dirty cells. मतलब छोटे छोटे ਜਿਹੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾਵਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ, ਸੈਲਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ. ਠੀਕ ਆ. ਰਾਈਟ ਦ ਅਦਰ ਟੂ ਨੇਮਸ ਆਫ ਦ ਸੈਲੂਲਰ ਜੇਲ, ਕਾਲਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਐਂਡ ਡੈਵਿਲਸ ਆਈਲੈਂਡ. What were the physical condition of the cellular jail? The cellular jail was very dirty. It was full of mosquitoes and leeches. ਦੇਖੋ ਆਪਾਂ true false ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨੂੰ true ਕਰਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ full of mosquitoes and leeches. leeches ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਖੂਨ ਚੂਸਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਰਾਈਟ. फिर उसके बाद है who were chief governing officials in the cellular jail? John Jailer, David Barry, Superintendent Murray, and the chief commissioner. How were the convicts punished when they failed to work properly? When the convicts failed to work properly, they were abused and given 30 whip lashes in public. Fera, who were addressed as demigods and why? The warders, petty officers, and jamadas were called demigods. They too, like the jailer and the superintendent, ill-treated the prisoners and made their lives miserable. What was the mantra of Gadarites right in the beginning of their conviction period? Their mantra was not to suffer any insult without a determined retaliation. Why was Jyotish Chandra Pal removed to a mental hospital? On a longer hunger strike, Jyotish Chandra Pal refused to relent, and after a month he went totally mad क्योंकि सच में mad हो चुके सन. Why did jail authorities discontinue some of their practices of bad treatment? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ authorities ਸੀ, मतलब कि अथॉरिटी वाले ਮੈਂਬਰ ਸੀਗੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੁਝ ਬਹੁਤ ਹਾਰਸ਼ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟਿਸਿਸ ਜਾਂ ਜੋ ਬੈਡ ਟਰੀਟਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿਣ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ, ਉਹ ਡਿਸਕੰਟੀਨਿਊ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਤੇ, ਬੰਦ ਕਰਤੇ ਰੋਕ ਕਾਤੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ? ਦ ਲੌਂਗ ਹੰਗਰ ਸਟ੍ਰਾਈਕਸ ਫੋਰ ਦ ਜੇਲ ਅਥਾਰਿਟੀਜ਼. ਦ ਲੌਂਗ ਹੰਗਰ ਸਟ੍ਰਾਈਕਸ ਫੋਰ ਦ ਜੇਲ ਅਥਾਰਿਟੀਜ਼ ਟੂ डिसकंटिन्यू some of their practices of bad treatment क्योंकि हंगर स्ट्राइक्स हो रही सी जो बहुत लॉन्ग जा रही हैं. देखो 2 क्वेश्चन आ ते आ 2 क्वेश्चन आ, ठीक आ. 1 2 3 4 इन्हां दे तुसीं स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो. 1 2 3 आई होप तुसीं स्क्रीनशॉट ले लिया. मैं अगे मूव कर रही हूँ. देखो ਇਹਦਾ ਲੈ ਲਓ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਓਕੇ ਆਈ ਹੋਪ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਕਰੀਨਸ਼ਾਟ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ ਸੋ yeah, this was for today's video. Meet you in my next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.